What's happening, dogs? Mr. Allen here. We're about to solve this inequality by both graphing and algebraically using a sign chart. But the first step is the same. I want 0 on that right-hand side. All right, when I'm solving a quadratic, I'm always going to look to factor first. That's my go-to method. Then, quadratic formula. But it looks like something will multiply to negative 12 and add to negative 4. That's going to be x minus 6 and x plus 2. Boom. That's awesome. It's fantastic. All right. Now, I'm going to do the sign chart method first, and then we're going to show how graphically it also agrees. So for my sign chart, I got to solve each one of these. I'm going to get x equals 6 and x equals negative 2 for my key values. Obviously, we have an inequality here. We're going to address that later. I know I've got the equal sign inequality. That seems weird, but trust me, stay with me here. All right. So I'm going to draw a number line, and I'm not worried about any other numbers than these two right here. So I'm going to have negative 2. I'm going to have positive 6. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some test values to see when it's positive or when it's negative, right? So first thing here is, what's a number that's less than negative 2? That'd be negative 3. And I want to use a different color here because I don't want to confuse it with my two key values right here. If I plugged in negative 3, I'd have a negative value here, right? It'd be negative 9. I don't care about the number. It's negative 9, but I just want to know it's negative. And over here, also going to be a negative, right? It's going to be negative 1, but I'm not concerned with the actual two numbers, just that they're both negative, which would give me overall positive. Okay, beautiful. Next one in here. Easiest number that I can see would be 0. So if I test 0 right here, 0 goes in here, it's a negative. 0 goes in here, it's a positive. What's a negative times a positive number? Any negative number times any positive number is going to be negative overall. Again, I'm not concerned about what the actual values are, just if they're positive or negative, and then what they're going to get when you multiply them together as far as the sign is concerned. Now I got to test 7 over here. And let's see here. If I plug 7, I'm going to get a positive, okay? And I'm going to get a positive right here. Again, not concerned with the actual numbers, just that it's a positive times a positive, which is positive overall. Now, let's go back to our inequality. It is greater than 0. So when is this greater than 0? Well, when I'm less than negative 2, x is less than negative 2, or when x is greater than positive 6. Woo! That's dope. That's super awesome. So that is the solution right there. It can also be written as negative infinity to negative 2, both parentheses. We're not including the values here. If this was equal to, greater than or equal to, you'd have the equal to underneath these, and you'd have a bracket right here with the negative 2, not with the negative infinity. Infinities never have those brackets, right? You can't include infinity. Okay. Union, and then we're going to have 6 to positive infinity. There we go. So two different notations there, depending on what it's asking for, or if it's dealer's choice, right? Like you get to choose. Oh, man, I love getting to choose. America. Freedom. All right, freedom choose here in math. It's awesome. All right. Now I'm going to graph this thing, okay? Do a rough sketch. I got negative 2, so 1, 2, negative 2. Then we got positive 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Woo! It is a positive quadratic. It's got a y-intercept of negative 12, so it's going to be somewhere down here. I really don't care that much about that. Really all I'm worried about is where this graph is above or below the x-axis. Since I want to be above because it's greater than 0, we're looking at this section right here, whoop, and this section right over here. And as you can see, it's when x is less than negative 2, I'm above, and when x is greater than positive 6, I'm also above. So you can see how the graph works as well as the sign chart works. Really up to you, or depending on what the question's asking or how complex it gets, because sometimes these graphs are a little hard to do if you get crazy polynomials or rational equations, but a quadratic is pretty easy to sketch with those x-intercepts and get a nice visual there. So your choice, up to you. That's dope. Just like you guys, I will see you dogs later. Peace out.